Good evening,
Hi,
everyone.
Jackie.
Thank you very much for joining us this evening for our cocktail hour. This is our Ask MarComm Anything. And we have a couple of our board members on the call this evening. So I'd like to welcome CaraJoy and Nicole Rymer, our board members, Heather Landstrom, Leanna Carey, and Jeannie Fowl as well. So welcome everybody for joining us this evening. There are a few Zoom rules that we're going to go over. This event is being recorded, so please mute your audio. Be aware if your camera is on or off, and please put any questions in the chat section and we'll answer those as we go along. This evening, we'll be talking with our Marketing Communications Committee, and our conversation is going to focus on digital marketing, communications, video, social media, and a lot more. I'd like to introduce our panel for our AMA cocktail hour this evening. Nicole Rymer is an award-winning realtor, businesswoman, creative director, filmmaker, and host. If there is one quote that sums up her experience the most is, "It's impossible is just an option." For Nicole Rymer, it's just a motto. It's not just a motto, it's the truth. As a 16-year award-winning realtor, Nicole has created a film and media company that primarily focuses on creating digital talk shows like The Hub and the WCC PBC digital talk show, currently in its third season, as a docuseries called She Owns It, creating docuseries and documentaries on social issues in our communities. Nicole has successfully incorporated film and media in all aspects of her business life. Even as a radio co-host on the show Make Your Life Happen on True Oldies 95.9 FM, Nicole used the power of storytelling and video when interviewing her guests, as well as with marketing of the show. Stacey Opray is a marketing professional with more than 20 years experience in marketing, communications, graphic design, brand management, and social media. She began her career with the Walt Disney Company in Burbank, California, helped with the launch and nationwide rollout of Radio Disney. Here, she gained unparalleled experience in brand management and worked closely with local affiliates to maintain and uphold the Disney brand. In California, Stacey was an account executive for a PR firm, managed the marketing department for an area hospital, and was the director of marketing for a real estate investment and a financial services firm. In 2017, she and her family relocated to West Palm Beach, and she started her own digital marketing, social media, and graphic design firm, helping small business owners with real estate professionals build their brand and grow their business, both through traditional and digital marketing. CaraJoy Nash is an award-winning marketing and communications director and behavioral marketing educator. CaraJoy joined the Women's Chamber of Commerce in 2015 and was almost immediately given the task of helping with the Chamber's social media, where she developed the digital marketing task force, began managing our social media, and spearheaded the Chamber's rebranding. In 2018, the MarComm Committee received the Innovation and Strategy Award from the Chamber. Knowing firsthand how women business owners often struggle to manage every area of their business, create the necessary structure, and master the technology, CaraJoy recently launched her second business, She's Online Academy. This is where she shares her proven stress-free strategies and tactics to succeed by repurposing simple marketing tools. Now let me turn it over to our panel to start us off and give us our first toast of the evening. Nicole?
Thank you, Selena. And hello, everybody. Welcome to our happy hour. It's so good to see everybody. We really appreciate that. I'm in amazing company tonight with all of you, so we really appreciate you all coming. And I got to learn even through the bios of my team here that I get to share tonight with and work with something. So I'm really excited about that. So let's raise our glass, something we do well here. All right, Leah. All right. Thank you so much for coming. I know it's been a very crazy and stressful year. We appreciate everybody attending our events and so many more to come in 2021. So here's to wine, wit, and wisdom. Wine enough to sharpen wit, and wit enough to give zest to wine.
Oh,
Cheers.
that was good.
Cheers.
Awesome. Yes, We have better days ahead. So Celine, I think we're going to give it back to you. We have a poll.
We do have a poll. Our first poll of the evening is, which part of digital marketing do you struggle with the most? This is multiple choice. So is it search engine optimization, SEO, just posting, which platform to use, all of the above, or what is digital marketing? Okay, we'll give it just another minute for everybody. Okay, we have search engine optimization, and that's 75% of our viewers had said that that was one of their problems.
I even picked that. So if anybody feels bad, don't feel bad. I'm in it and I still have that issue. So I'm usually either going to, Kara's like shaking her head at me. How dare I say
No,
it?
I actually logged myself out.
Oh, well, there you go. So I think a lot of people struggle with stuff like that. It just seems, it's over my head sometimes. So hey, but that's okay. So our first question tonight is, hold on here.
It is, you have it?
Go ahead.
What is digital marketing and how can I incorporate it?
What is telling?
Well, I'm sorry, what is storytelling? I apologize.
So storytelling, I get this question. It's okay. So storytelling, I get this question all the time because I think when people use the word storytelling, again, it goes over their head. But we all have a story and it's all very important. You know, I created She Owns It for the Chamber because everybody's story is what makes them unique and it sets you apart. So you have to figure out what your story is. You can go to the next slide, Selena. So the beautiful thing about social media, and besides the fact that it's free, which is a beautiful thing for the most part, you know, is that you get to tell your story, your narrative, your message, your way. And that's what makes you unique. It's what sets your brand apart. I tell Kara this all the time and she'll tell you, you know, we could all do the same, have the same business, but A, we're not going to approach it the same way. And B, we don't all have the same story that makes us unique to set us apart. So you have to figure out what your narrative is and how to communicate your message to your audience. And that's with storytelling and with video. And I tell everybody this, but before, when I first got into real estate, there was no Facebook. There was not even an iPhone. So I couldn't just get on like a lot of people can today and market themselves, market their product, market their house. You know, it was a lot more difficult and time consuming to figure out ways to kind of put yourself out there. And now, I mean, everybody's a filmmaker, everybody's creative when they have a phone with them. And it really does, it's a game changer, basically. You can go to the next slide. So the statistics, and I even think this is probably low, 2 billion people tune into YouTube every month. I have a show on there called At the Hub. I have, CaraJoy's been on it. And over 72% of users prefer to learn about a product by watching a video. And I'll tell you why that is absolutely true. Did anybody do any Black Friday shopping? Raise your hand. Everybody did, right? So some of the big companies like Macy's, Sephora, all have started putting influencer videos trying out products on their website. Just normal people with normal accounts to try out their products. And that never happened, you know, 10 years ago. But most people want to hear somebody, they want to, you know, hear their views on a product. And at the end of the day, it's relatability. Your story is your superpower. It's what sets you apart. Use it. You know, again, you could be doing the same thing as 5 other people, but your story is unique to you, and you should be using that daily. Not everybody's comfortable going on every day, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But your story is what makes you unique and what you need to use to the best of your ability. And I'll kick it back to Selena.
Thank you very much. Our next question of the evening is for Stacy. Stacy, which social media platforms should my business be on? Do I need to be on all of them? And how often should I be posting?
That's a great question. Thank you. I get asked this a lot. Sometimes clients will come and they will be on nothing, or they will be on all of them. And the point I want to make is with the social media platforms, first of all, you need to, whoever your ideal client is, you have to find out what platform they're on. You want to find out where they're hanging out. I have a real estate client. He was on Facebook and Instagram. Both of his audience, Instagram's full of pictures, and it's a very visual industry. We're selling houses. We want people to see them. But most of his clients fall to that Facebook group. Now we're venturing into LinkedIn, which is business to business, and YouTube, which is a search engine, but we get into that SEO. We get found easily because Google owns YouTube. The best tip I can give you for which platforms to be on is find out where your ideal client hangs out, and always be consistent. Consistency is key with social media, because if you're on 5 platforms and you're posting once in a while on each of them, your audience isn't going to know when to find you or when you're giving information out. So it's really key to be consistent. If I have someone come to me and they ask me, we take a look at their ideal client, where they might be hanging out at, and I say pick one or 2 or 3 even if you want to be on, but each of those platforms you should be consistent on. So if it's only 1 or 2, that's fine. If that's where your clients are hanging out, that's where you need to be, and you need to be consistent. And if you have a business page with Facebook and you're already on there, you can go back into the insights, and it's a whole nother topic, but you can find out what the demographics are that are following you on your Facebook page or your Instagram profile. And then you can find out what time they're on and when they're normally on, what days, what times. And then you come up with the schedule and you just accommodate those times. If they're on Wednesdays at 3 o'clock, but they're not on Thursdays, then you might want to make sure you're on Wednesdays, and you can see which day people are on. So to go back to the main tip, consistency. Find out where your audience is hanging out at, where your ideal customer or client is, and be consistent, stick to it.
Thank you. And actually, you mentioned in your answer there about SEO, and we have a question from the audience. What is the difference between SEO and SEM? Stacy.
Oh, is that for me?
Yeah, I'm sorry, yes, because you mentioned about SEO in your answer there. So that was a question from the audience.
Well, I'm not an SEO or SEM expert, but from what I know, the search engine optimization is coming up with the content that will allow the Google could be being whatever search engine to find your content. So you're optimizing your content so the search engine can find you. Now, search engine marketing, I think, and I don't know if CaraJoy, I think it's a real fine line between the difference of them. But if CaraJoy wants to jump in with the search engine marketing, I think maybe that's just taking it down a little bit more narrow path.
Certainly, the search engine marketing is generally the paid version of search engine optimization. It's the Google ads, the Google My Business ads, Bing ads, where, and again, the organic would be search engine optimization.
Okay, perfect. And actually, that's a great segue now, because we are going to go back into CaraJoy. The next question is for you. If there was one thing I could do to get people into my store or to my business, what would it be?
So very specifically, the question was into my store or my business.
Correct.
Google My Business is my answer. Now, I want to be clear. Google My Business will you can create a Google My Business account if you have a business strictly online or not. You have to get verified. Excuse me. So if your business is 100% online, you cannot have my business based on their rules and regulations. So you may not get verified. Now, if your business is online, right? Say I have a digital marketing agency, and I'm a home-based business. However, I have clients that I used to go out and see. So I have a Google My Business page. And Selena, if you would flip it to the next slide, there's some very specific line items that when you create your Google My Business page, and you can go to business.google.com. It's free to create the account. But what I have here are just, if you do nothing more than, create the account, use your proper name, address, phone number. Now, when it comes to speaking of search engine optimization, you want to make sure that your address is the same no matter where you're online. If your address is 528 Blue Road, Suite 10, every place you put your address online should be, what did I just say? 5 something, address. Thank you. I can't even remember. But and the very specific, because that is part of your search engine optimization. And it used to be like social media. Where does that come in terms of search engine optimization? And if you go something, there is a very, very likelihood of seeing Facebook posts or LinkedIn posts, and that also goes into your search engine optimization. Now, let me get back to Google My Business. Photos. This can either be user-generated photos, which Nicole was speaking of in terms of the user-generated content, which there's a huge movement in social media for user-generated content. So you can have your customers post pictures, but then you also want to post pictures of the inside, of the outside of your business, of your products. The more pictures you have on your Google My Business, the more you are going to rank in terms of the algorithm. And I say this because I have been doing this for quite some time. And I have the data. The data backs up exactly what I'm saying. The more pictures that my clients have, the better their business is performing on Google My Business. Now, these could be pictures you took 10 years ago. You still want to go ahead and post those if they're relevant. Obviously, you don't post them if they're no longer relevant, right? But you want to post relevant pictures. Video. Google will, once you have a Google My Business page, maybe 2-3 times a year, I personally receive them. Google, when the little Google car does the drive around, so when you use Google Maps and you see like, hey, look, there's the store, Google My Business will Google will contact you and say, hey, do you want to do a 360 video? And that's, the little car, when he comes around, he'll do an entire 60. So no, imagine yourself standing in the middle and then just like turning around. That's what that image would look like on your Google My Business page. Again, if you have products or services, make sure that you have them there with pictures, and be as detailed as possible, because if someone is looking for you, is looking locally, you're going to pop up. And the more information that you can give someone, the more comfortable they begin to feel with you. And it goes back to, people want to do business with those that they know, like, and trust. So these fine little details that go into the psychology of the person that is viewing your profile. And if you have reviews, always respond to your reviews. And don't just do a, hey, thank you, we're glad you're our client. If the review spoke of something specific, respond in that same term of something specific of what it was. If it was, your service was great, well, thank you. Our staff works very hard, we train regularly, whatever it may be, again, to bring out the human of your business. And you'll see over here on the profile maintenance, there are just a couple of things that you just want to make sure that you're regularly pop into Google My Business and updating and checking. Now, you can also activate the messaging on Google My Business. So people can message you just like they do on Facebook. You can only activate that on mobile. And I want to be clear, if you activate your messaging on Google My Business, please, please, please respond, because if you activate it and people are asking you questions and then you don't respond, that's going to count against you negatively, obviously, but it's going to count against you. They're going to take that privilege away from you. So that would be the best thing that I can say to get people in your store or on your, to your home-based business or have you.
Thank you. I think we have, let's see. There we go. Nicole, our next question is for you is, how do I get comfortable talking on camera and what steps can I take?
Thank you. Actually, can you go to the slide before?
That one?
No.
Nope, I'm off.
Yeah.
That
Go to
one.
there we go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Kara actually brought up a really, really, really good point, because I get this a lot. And because Kara is the video producer for She Owns It, she's there when people come, when we were all allowed to be together, when people would come onto our set. I have people on for the show who are coming on as experts. They're coming on to talk about stuff that they already know. And until they get to set, or when we had the radio show and they would come into the studio, all of a sudden they'd get very nervous. Like, oh, now I have to do it and everybody's going to hear me and everybody's going to be looking and watching. So Kara knows, I always sat with people and just kind of like calm them down a little bit and just say, breathe. It's okay. You're coming to talk about stuff you already know. You're the expert on it. So I'm going to let you in on like a Hollywood secret. There is no such thing as reality TV. There just isn't. The housewives may not be reading from a script, but I promise you the producers of that show have said, hey, this outing, we're going to have you and you get into a fight. And, and this is kind of the topic, because you upset her yesterday. So we're going to talk about it. There's no such thing as reality TV. Everything is somewhat scripted. So, for a lot of people, if they're just starting to go on camera a little bit, even again with your phone, and I'll talk a little bit about some stuff that you can do to get started. But the best thing you can do when in doubt, script it. For even the promo that I did for the event, I wrote a script out to record. Now I may not have said it verbatim, but it definitely gave me my points that I have to get in for the time that I'm on camera. And I did maybe 6 takes. I think I sent them all to Kara and I said, hey, pick one, just whatever you think's the best. And that's the beauty of having this thing with us all the time. It's connected to our hands, is that you can write it out and re-record. You don't have to necessarily hit Facebook Live for the first time ever and go live and not know what you're talking about. Write it out. Know before you press record what your message is for that particular video. You don't have to stay on for 30 minutes and talk about 5 different things. Start out small, depending on what you want to talk about that day. Write it out and then just talk about that. And that'll give you content and it'll get you started as well. And like I said, we script everything out for She Owns It. So I practice that. I say it in the shower, before we get on air, and, because I have to get in, the name of the show. I have to get in that we're on Thursday nights at 7. I have to get in, hey, if you want to be a member, go to women'schamber.biz. We have this event coming and all that. I have to make sure I get certain things in each intro, because not everybody knows us and not everybody's going to know you. So you have to be able to do that, and also do what we would call in the business station identification. So when I was in radio, you know, every 10, 15 minutes, you'd have to say, and you're listening to Make Your Life Happen on 95.9. And sometimes we do that with the show, you know, people who are coming in halfway through and they don't really know you. You have to remember those things. And it's the who and what. Last year, CaraJoy and I taught a class in person. And, you know, every video should start with who you are and what. Cara brought up such an amazing point. People are not necessarily just buying your products. They're buying it because they relate to you. And relatability is such an important thing. You don't need to be anybody but who you are. And people will relate to you. And if they like you, they're gonna buy your stuff. So I'll tell a story because Cara was there for this. And I don't remember her name, so CaraJoy helped me. When we were in studio last year, we had a lady come on for the veteran nonprofit. And, you know, I do a lot of research, do a lot of prep for the show. It's hours and hours. And she came on and she said, you know, I researched you and I was so nervous about coming on, but then I watched your shows and I realized you talk with your hands a lot. And I knew I was going to be okay because I talk with my hands a lot too. So I knew I could be myself. So that's the biggest compliment that I give when I, you know, having a platform to help other women, other people, you know, speak what their truth is in their business, is that they can be themselves. And that's what you have to remember. Don't be nervous, you know, be yourself, you know, your message, you know, your why, get on there and talk about it, you know, and if you script it out, you know, each video, what you're going to do. And this is probably the most important thing out of anything that I say tonight. When I started interviewing people and doing shows, and, you know, I've interviewed Dave Ehrenberg, I've interviewed mayors, I've interviewed directors from all over the place. You know, the first time that I pressed record 4 or 5 years ago is not as good as how I am today. And you have to allow yourself the space to get better and grow. No, the first time you do it is not going to be as great as the 10th time. And the 10th time won't be as great as number 50. And if you don't allow yourself that room to grow, you're just never going to do it. So you have to be gentle with yourself because you got this. Start now. Start with what you have. You know, when I first started, I didn't have, you know, all the expensive equipment. You know, that came as I built my film company. And, you know, you don't need it to be great. You know, most influencers that started who were making 6 figures, and they are making 6 figures plus, started with their phone. You don't need to, you know, go crazy and spend thousands and thousands of dollars. And if someone's telling you that, or they're trying to sell you a course that you have to spend thousands of dollars, it's not the course for you. You can start with what you have and who you are, and that's more than good enough. I just want to tell just a brief story. I know somebody from my hometown in Philadelphia, and she has a brain disorder. She started a company literally off talking off Instagram, and she makes some months 6 figures selling her product, and she's just herself. She legitimately is just herself. She's not, you know, she doesn't put on airs for anybody. She is who she is, and people relate to that and they feel comfortable, so they buy her stuff. And you can do the same thing. Celine, you can go to the next slide, or the slide before, I think.
Yep, the slide, yep, it just takes.
I think it's the slide before.
Yeah.
So filming basics, again, you know, I had to grow and buy the film equipment and all that, but you just don't need it. And Cara will attest to this because I tell everybody this stuff. You know, most phones today are like some of the best cameras out there. And you just don't need to go invest, you know, into a $5,000 camera. You just don't need to do that. You know, there are some things that you can invest in if you feel more comfortable. A decent microphone, a lapel. Some of my lapel mics are $20 that we use. Some of them are $200, $300, but you don't need to. You can get a lapel mic, hook it up to either your computer. We're now all on Zoom, and a lot of people are hooking it up to that, or your phone. Out of anything, I think I tell people, and Cara will maybe correct me, I don't know, but I tell everybody, go buy a ring light. $100 investment.
I'm looking at mine, sorry.
Yeah, you know,
Exactly.
Cara has a ring light, and I have mine on. You know, $100 investment is huge because lighting is big. You don't want any distractions. So audio and lighting are sometimes distractions unless you're sitting outside in natural light, but a lot of us aren't. We're in our desks now, we're inside of our houses. And for $125 probably you can be set up. If you want to buy a tripod for your phone, you can do that. Again, very inexpensive. And then, I'll leave it to the ladies, but you got to know what medium you're posting to. Is it Facebook, doing Facebook Live? Is it YouTube? Is it IGTV? Is it your website? There's different configurations and things you have to do to be able to post to that. So you just want to know before you press play, when you're scripting it out, where you're posting it, what you're saying, and you can get started. There's just no reason not to do video anymore. It's not going anywhere. It's just going to be growing and growing and growing. And people have made amazing lives for themselves by incorporating video into their business. And especially women know that they can be themselves on camera. They don't need to be anything but their fabulous selves. And I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nicole. Stacy, our next question is for you. And it is, what are hashtags and how do you use them? Is there such a thing as hashtag strategy?
Yes, thank you, Selena. What are hashtags? Hashtags are hyperlink search terms. So we were just talking about SEO not too long ago. Think about hashtags as SEO for the social platforms. I'll be using Instagram as an example tonight, but what you're essentially doing is you're telling Instagram or whatever platform what your content is about. And it's a great way to promote your content to eyes that may not be following you on those platforms. So it's very important that you use these hashtags wisely. And that's what a hashtag strategy is. So there are ways, there are apps that you can get. I don't use them. Some people love them. Some people, there's pros and cons to using the apps that will help you find the hashtags, or you can do it the good old fashioned way like I do. And I go in and I actually put the hashtags in, and then you can follow, you can see the posts that come up, and then you can click on the top post and you can see what hashtags they're using. There's a number next to the hashtags that says how many posts. So for instance, I took on a plastic surgeon client and we were doing a post about Botox. So hashtag Botox be a good idea? Yeah, but there's also 10 million posts for Botox. So if we want people in that area of where that clinic is to come find us for Botox, we're probably going to want to use Botox Jupiter, Palm Beach Med Spa. Localized hashtags are key because we're trying to find people in that area for our business. It's not a national company. It's we want them to come to that office. Excuse me. So in order to do a hashtag strategy, you do have to do the research, even if you have an app. And then also you can have 30 hashtags in your post. Some people say only use 11, now it's 7. But if you have an opportunity to use 30, then use 30 hashtags. And you might want to do, you do want to do the functional hashtags, the SEO. So those are the ways that you'll be found. You want to do the branded hashtags, which would be hashtag the name of your clinic, or if you have any other branded hashtags. And then you could do fun hashtags, Facial Friday, or Tuesday, or whatever it be. So it's a good combination of all of them, having most of those hashtags in that group, kind of in the middle per se. And if anybody wants the sheet that I have a small booklet about what are hashtags and how to find them, you can email me and I'll send that to you. Did that answer the question? Can you guys hear me?
Yep,
Great
you
job.
did a great job.
Stacey.
Okay.
I learned. See, I'm learning here too with everybody.
We actually have two hashtags. The chamber has hashtag she owns it and hashtag she stuck her neck out. Those are the chamber's branded hashtags.
So Stacy, then, are you referring to the 3 different types of hashtags? Nope. Stacy?
Hi, you guys. I have a little bit of an emergency. Can I just, I have a little bit of an emergency.
No problem.
I will be right back, okay?
Okay.
Thank
We're
you.
going to go into CaraJoy. Our next question is for you. It is, marketing online is so time consuming. How can I save myself time but still be effective?
So when I hear this, my first response is, what specifically are you finding time consuming? Where are you spending the most time? Is it writing your copy, creating your designs? Is it community management, engagement, growth? The reason I ask that question is because the area that once you think about it, the area that you're spending the most time on is usually the area where you need the most help, right? And I'm going to use an example of, our person they're spending most of their time trying to create copy, and they don't know what to say. So then my response is, okay, so what problem does your business solve? And I have a series of questions. Who's your customer? What problem does your business solve? What's the value that you create? Who is the client that you aspire to have? I don't go into a diagnosing immediately. I find that the more questions that I ask, it becomes our job to bring out what it is that the client or the person really doesn't know why they're having a problem. Excuse me. If it's I don't know where I should be posting so who's your customer? Then we look at the demographics, and if they don't really know, then we go back all the way to the beginning. And I have this tool that I use that we're able to identify, our client aspiration, where we find our client online, the problem that we solve, and it's the correct problem. Being able to solve a problem is one thing, but solving the correct problem is key. That's where the gold is at. The gold is solving the correct problem. So what you see here on screen is just, it's a quick little, obviously 3 questions, comes from from the Academy, from my current course, The Power of Your Value Project. And if you see people like, come do business with us because, we write proposals, and come do business with us because we've been in business for 30 years. I'm sorry, but who the hell cares? Nobody cares about your degrees. Nobody cares that you sell cups, cheaper than the guy next door. They just don't. There's so many options. You have to tell them what's the benefit. Why? What is the reason that they want to come to you? What is it? What is the problem you're solving? What is the benefit that you provide? So by asking the first 2 questions, what are you good at and what work do you perform? We are then able to turn those features into benefits. And then once we're able to turn those features into benefits, we then get a little bit deeper and we turn those benefits into the emotional driver that makes someone come to do business with you. Now, let's just say they know who they're talking to, they know what to say, but they don't really know what to post. I see people posting, this is like someone saying to me, I see people doing Facebook Live and quizzes and this, that, and the other. Well, that's great. You want to have a multi-dimensional social media strategy. You want to ask questions. You want to offer advice. You want to be motivational, educational. You want to sell. You want to sell far, far, far less than you post everything else, right? I mean, think about it. When you go into looking for a car and the salesman is like, hey, let me blah, 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 blah. I mean, let's think about it. It turns us off when someone comes right out of the gate and they're selling to us. We turn them off. And the exact same thing happens on social media. Every market is saturated. There's so many, there's so many options when it comes to, just like Nicole was talking about earlier, there could be 10 of us. Actually, there are 3 of us on that I know specifically because they're my friends and colleagues, with us today, and we do social media, but we all approach social media differently. So then it becomes why, what is your approach to social media? Because then that can then determine the direction of your business, which then determines who is the customer, the problem that you want to solve. And then, repurposing content. I am all about repurpose, reuse. I can't say it enough. Take that blog post that you wrote 3 years ago, go and find what are the highlights of the blog post. Well, take that and turn it into a stories with an image, or turn it into a quote. Excuse me. Take images and put movement behind them to turn them into a video. Because when it comes to video on social media, the algorithms are getting smarter than we realize. The algorithm knows if it's a video of just still images. It's crazy, but they know this. So there are apps, and my favorite app, I'm not getting any reward or any residual income, is Pixaloop. And with Pixaloop, I can take a still image and put movement behind it. Now, I'm not saying that I'm tricking the algorithm. I'm saying that I'm using my resources in a completely different way to get a better result. And that's what saving yourself time on social media is all about, repurposing the content that you may already have that you don't realize that you can reuse.
Thank you very much, CaraJoy. I think there was one more slide. There we go. And there's some information about you as well. We do have a poll, our last poll. Let's see. One more question is, what are you going to add in 2021 that you haven't done? And this is multiple choice again. So learn how to do video, add stories or live reels, fleet, or hire someone to manage it for you. Okay, so we have a couple more seconds. And it's pretty close. So we have 50% said learn how to do video, 33% said fleet, and 17% said hire someone to manage it for me. So thank you very much. Ladies, you guys have quite a bit coming up. If you would like to tell us, each of you, what do you have coming up and what can we look forward to? Nicole, if you want to start.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for everybody for coming, and thank you to CaraJoy Nash and to Stacy O'Prey. I appreciate you guys. You're all amazing. And I learned tonight, so I love being on a panel where I get to learn something new, which is wonderful. Yeah, so actually tomorrow, the Hub, which is my digital talk show, is coming back for a special. We were going to wait till next year, but I have a very special guest that's near and dear to my heart, which is CaraJoy Nash, coming on to talk about She's Online Academy, which through a pandemic she got to create this year, which I'm so proud of her. So she's actually on tomorrow night. So you can go to the Power Hub Facebook page at 7, and we're going to air that show. And then we have She Owns It, the docuseries, which is probably, I'm extremely proud of what we're creating, like extremely proud of what we're creating with She Owns It. We have, it's on Thursday nights at 7 on the Chamber Facebook page. We have Barbara McQuinn coming on to talk about education in Palm Beach County and the new, it's almost done, sealed, delivered, the new tech school that's coming into North County, vocational school. And then we have, who do we have? We have Dave Ehrenberg coming on in a few weeks for an opioid crisis update. We have Holly Lichtenfield talking about climate change and how it relates to Palm Beach County businesses. We have a lot of stuff coming up. I'm really excited. And then next year, we're starting our documentary on mental health, which is something that is near and dear to my heart. I talk about it all the time, and it's going to be a very big issue because of the pandemic. So stay tuned for the Power Hub. We have a brand new site releasing soon. So thanks, everybody.
Sure. Thank you very much, ladies. Do you have anything coming up you'd like to tell us about? Good.
Stacy, go ahead.
I don't have anything as exciting as Nicole, but what people would think is exciting. I have some exciting stuff coming up for a client where we're launching a whole new YouTube channel strategy, and that stuff's exciting to me. So yeah, that's all. And I just wanted to say, if anybody wants to get any materials that I have, just email me and I'll send them to you. I got a little bit distracted. I had a minor emergency, but I apologize for that, but everything's okay. And thanks for everyone for coming out.
CaraJoy.
And so She's Online Academy just launched. I'm excited. She's Online Academy just launched last week. It has been a long road. I'm like relieved, but now there's a whole new level of stress, right? I mean, like everything comes with stress these days. But our first course is called The Power of Your Value Project. And it's all about, I have this tool that I've been using in my agency business that allows the student to identify, who their client aspiration is. You create the message, but then once we do that, I take this tool and I flip and we use it as the business compass, which then becomes an iterative version of, as the tides change, so do businesses. And as Nicole had mentioned, I'm on the hub tomorrow evening at 7:00. And what Nicole didn't mention, and is a couple of weeks ago on She Owns It, our chamber digital series, we had the 5 firefighter women of Palm Beach Gardens, the amazing 5. They are our sheroes. I just want to let you know, in case you haven't seen it, to go back and watch it. Talk about amazing. So thank you for joining us. It's been an honor, and I hope we actually gave you something that you can learn and take with you. And if it's too much, you can hire us. We're good with that as well. And you can find me on social media at CaraJoy Nash or at She's Online Agency.
Thank you very much. We will send out the link for the video tonight and everyone's contact information, so you can reach the 3 ladies if you have questions about it. With the Women's Chamber of Commerce, next week on December 9th at 12 o'clock, our Lunch and Learn is a virtual one. It is calm through chaos and uncertainty. The slightest shift in perception can easily take your mind from fear to calm. So that information, plus all of our upcoming information as well, is on our website, womenschamber.biz. I know this is our last one that we're doing for the holidays, but the other thing is, as Nicole mentioned before, our She Owns It, our Facebook Live series is on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. And Nicole, I think you're going to take us out with our final toast of the evening.
I'm happy to do another toast. I love toast. Thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate that. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. We're always here to help. So we hope everybody is doing well and you have as good a holiday as you possibly can. Here's to 2021. May you have play days, heydays, and most importantly, paydays in 2021.
Amen.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Very much. Thank you, ladies. Have a good night. Take care. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
Good night.